All right, we're going to go over to the Fire Faves now.
The Fire Faves.
The Fire of Faves.
All right, Frank Sinatra.
And we're going to start off with my Fire Faves. We're going to get Maha. It's Feathers Night.
Maha, it's Feathers Night. Maha, yeah. Boom.
Looks like my Fire Faves, Tom, not yours.
Continue.
Thank you. It's an elemental bird. 6/5 when it comes out. It's 3 generic, 2 black. It's got flying and trample. It's got a ward cost as well for discarding a card. And then its ability is amazing. I love it. Creatures your opponents control have a base toughness of 1. I'm thinking crazy Rakdos decks. I'm thinking anything that's going to be a burn. You know, this card is amazing. It's the first one that's ever been printed in the color of black. Nothing else compares to it other than is some white spells, and there is a Orzhov spell as well. The first one is going to be Humility. It's an enchantment. Each creature loses all abilities, and it is a 1/1. Then we've got Overwhelming Splendor. This is 6 generic, 2 white. It's an Aura Curse. You're going to enchant a player, so not as good. But creatures enchanted player controls loses all ability and has a base power and toughness of 1. Of 1/1. Enchanted player can't activate abilities that aren't mana abilities or loyalty abilities. Again, same exact. It's got a little bit of its own upside, but it's definitely not as good as Godhead of Awe. It's 5 Orzhov. Spirit Avatar. It is a 4/4.
Wait.
What?
You say Overwhelming Splendor is not as good?
I said it's got other things that make up for it.
That card's way better than Maha.
You think so?
I know so.
Oh, okay. Is there a lot?
It's an Aura Curse, which is harder to remove. And enchanted player can't activate abilities that aren't mana abilities or loyalty abilities.
Yeah, but it's only doing it to 1.
What do you mean? Oh, yeah. I guess to one person.
It's only doing it to 1 person, which is why in my mindset, for the 5 mana, you're getting base power and toughness of 1, or base toughness of 1.
Yeah, ups and downs.
There's different reasons to use each card, but those are the cards that I saw that were kind of similar to it. Now the benefits are, you know, when you're turning anything into a base power, base toughness of 1, I'm thinking Blazing Volley. It deals 1 damage to each creature your opponents control. Immediate board wipe for everybody. You know, Choking Vines. It's an X and a green. It's an instant. Play only when blockers are declared. X target attacking creatures are considered blocked. Choking Vine deals 1 damage to each of those creatures. So you're just board wiping it as well, at least 1 person per se. And then the obvious end of the festivities. It's 1 red, it's a sorcery, it deals 1 damage to each opponent and each creature and planeswalker they control.
You know what you also could add is you can also add Massacre Worm.
Massacre Worm.
And as a battlefield, each creature gets -2/-2, and then it deals that much damage, or 2 damage to each creature that died.
That's going to be my first Fire Fave, though. I think it's a put in any type of burn Rakdos deck. You want to just have an easy board wipe, and you're also getting a 7/6 flyer with Trample and Ward. I think it's a great card. It's definitely going in a lot of 99s. Any thoughts?
Pretty good. I like it, just the fact that it's a creature that pretty good stats on it already, including the ward, right? Flying, trample, 6/5 for 5 mana with ward discard. Like, that by itself already makes it okay, but just the fact that it also has that interaction. Only issue that I do have with it is that it's just base toughness 1, right? So they still have their power, they still have all their abilities. It's not as good as I want it to be, but I think it's actually very fair, and it's not like broken like other cards. It's pretty decent.
Yeah, great input on that. So that's going to be my first one. My next one is going to be Camellia, the Seed Miser. It's 1 generic and Golgari. It's a new, I like to think it's an amped up version of Chatterfang, or you guys can switch back between these two now as the commander. You could say Squirrel Warlock, though, comes in as a 3/3. It's got Menace. Other squirrels you control have Menace. Whenever you sacrifice 1 or more foods, create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token. Then it's got a secondary ability for tap, 2 generic, and forage. Put a 1/1 counter on each other squirrel you control. And to forage is to exile 3 cards from your graveyard or sacrifice a food token. I don't know about you, man, but I could see this getting out of hand pretty fast, especially if you have both Chatterfang and Camellia out on the field.
Yeah, and then throw in either like certain death trigger cards like Blood Artist and Zulaport.
Well, you've got Peregrine Took. That's an easy must put in because whenever you create a token, you get to make a food token as well on top of that. It's kind of like Zorn for treasure tokens, but it's for food tokens. And then
It's
it's
exactly that, yeah.
Yeah, and then it's got the sacrifice 3 foods. You get to draw a card. So if you have, Academy Manufacturer out, you're going to have something that's creating a blood token, a clue token, and a treasure token. Or is it food token? Food, treasure, and clue.
Blood.
Not clue?
Clue.
Yeah, whatever. We'll figure that one out.
It's clue.
Yeah. So you're going to be putting that in. Some of the other cards, especially if you want to get into the squirrel aspect, you can put in Chitter Spitter.
What a funny name.
I know. It's hysterical. But your squirrels get +1/+1 for each acorn counter on it. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, you get to put an acorn counter on Chitter Spitter. I don't want to say that name again.
It's so awesome.
But its other portion I like too is 1 green, tap the artifact, create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token. And if you have any token doublers on the field, you're making a couple of them each turn.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
And Animal Friend is the Fallout edition that I liked a lot, the enchantment aura that you can attach it to the creature. And whenever this creature attacks, create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token, put a 1/1 on that creature token for each aura and equipment attached to this creature other than Animal Friend. I liked it a lot just because you're building a lot of squirrels out of it. It's just something easy to get on for 2 mana as well. There's probably better cards out there, but that's what I liked a lot from that. You've also got a couple of the new cards that also came out were Vine Reap Mentor, which I kind of would put in this just because you're creating food tokens, and then when it enters and dies, I don't know, just something easy. It's a 3/2 as well.
It's on theme.
Yeah, for sure. And then Second Harvest, obviously, for doubling it. But that's going to be my reason for loving Camellia. Do you have anything else you wanted to add about her?
I mean, yeah, just replace the Shatterfang in your deck with Camellia, and you pretty much have the deck right there.
Exactly. So my last one that's going to be on my Fire Faves is Beza, the Bounding Spring. 2 generic, 2 white. It's an elemental elk, comes in as a 4/5. Now, I like this because when I read the text originally, the first thing I thought of is any type of Blink deck is going to love this card. And what it says is when it enters the battlefield, create a treasure token if an opponent controls more lands than you. You gain 4 life if an opponent has more life than you. Create 2 1/1 blue fish creature tokens if an opponent controls more creatures than you. And draw a card if an opponent has more cards in hand than you. In a pod, you're playing this in like a Orion deck, where you're just constantly blinking it. Like that's what, or
You're probably gonna get all 3 effects popping off all the time.
Absolutely, this is an automatic in the 99. I wouldn't make this a commander. Yeah, but Yorion, the Sky Nomad, as well as that, I see like Mist Metal Witch happening, Hallowed Respite. This is going into any type
Copy
of blink.
cards as well.
Exactly.
Copy it. Well, I was thinking more like Spark Double, but yeah.
Spark
Ooh,
Double,
I like these cards.
Yeah, you could put in Soul Herder, you could put in Displacer Kitten. Whenever you're casting a non-creature spell, which you will be, you're going to be playing an Ephemerate for sure, or at least cards like that or counter spells for protection.
Ephemerate, Cloud Shift.
Now,
Blink decks are annoying to play against.
Yeah, I have no desire to make one because I see like just everybody else's faces, including mine. Just
1,000 triggers.
Yeah,
1,000 triggers. Oh, I'm going to destroy your creature. No, I blink it. 1,000 more triggers.
Yeah. Sounds like a Tom deck for sure.
Yeah. That's even more sweatier. I don't know. Who am I kidding?
You just made a Kryko deck.
I know.
Like that could be CDH if you really wanted it to be.
It's not CDH.
It's not.
No, it's not.
Not yet.
But I'll tell you what. I did beat a dude that had a whole crap ton of cards where probably easily equal to $1,000 to $2,000 plus. Just like all the cards that are broken in a Brea deck.
Good times, though. Good times. So those are going to be my fire faves. Tell me what I missed. Tell me why the color schemes that I choose are always the same. I get it. It's just my style of play. We're going to head on over to Tom's fire faves now.
Yep. It's me, Tam. And they're fire.